Welcome viewers to the Broward County Bar Association's Barrister Live. This is where we bring the Barrister, our monthly magazine, and its articles to you live via an interview with the author. In this episode, we will be speaking with Mark Eiglarsh, Esquire, an AV-rated attorney who has been litigating in state and federal courts for over 28 years. He's an adjunct professor, devoted husband, proud father of 3 teenagers, and a passionate pickleball player. Mark is the author of Be Happy by Choice, Happiness Guaranteed, or Your Misery Back. Today, we will be discussing what you need to know about rainmaking. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, my friend.
Good. So let's jump into it, friend. Why is being a phenomenal attorney not enough to ensure that you will achieve financial success in today's market?
Well, if you want to have a certain level of success, that might work. I mean, back in the day, we were told when we got out of law school 28 years ago, just be a great lawyer and then everyone will know about it and you'll make a lot of money. And you can earn a decent living by being a great lawyer. There's plenty of people who do no rainmaking, no advertising, and that's great. For the majority of us, however, there's rainmaking that must take place to achieve certain financial goals. People don't find out about the wonderful work that you do for the most part. You've got to put yourself out there. So writing articles, giving speeches, getting out there in public and meeting with people, taking leadership roles and being of service to others, all those things help let people know who you are and increases the chances of getting more business.
So along those same lines, talk about the dichotomy of being a lawyer. There's the professional side, and then there's the business side.
That's correct. So being a great lawyer is a start. I mean, obviously, you want to be the best lawyer you can be. So commit to learning Spanish. If you want more of a Spanish clientele, you want to be better at writing, work at it. Be the best lawyer you can be. That's what I tell young lawyers. Again, develop your craft. It's a practice, so keep practicing. Then there's the whole business side, which I also spend a lot of time doing. Writing articles, letting people know what you do. I remember back when I was single. I'm happily married, 21 years. I married my best friend and I'm very blessed. However, at the time when I was looking for the right gal, my mom said, she'll be there when you're not looking. I said to my mother, really? I'm going to be sleeping in my bed. She's going to walk into my bedroom and here she is. I'm ready for you. No, you've got to put yourself out there. You got to do stuff. So I believe the more you put yourself out there, the greater the likelihood that people will know, oh, wait, there's that guy who does criminal work, Eiglarsh. Yeah, I ran into him at such and such, or I read his article, or I saw an interview that he did with Braulio. I'm going to hire him. So putting yourself out there definitely gets you more business.
So you talking about business, you wrote a very popular saying in the business arena is people do business with those that they know and trust. So how can an attorney build that like and trust?
First of all, I don't want to take credit for that line. It's out there in every business book. People do business and it makes sense. Common sense dictates that you send business and you do business with people obviously you have to know them. So there's the rainmaking aspect. Do I like that person? And do I trust them? Okay, well, let's talk about like and trust, because know is an easy one. You put yourself out there. We've already spoken about that. Put yourself out there however you think you want to put yourself out there. I don't tell people, this is how you have to do it. You have to do what I do. You have to post speeches about happiness every week to help people. You have to do this, you have to do that. You have to go on Fox News or CNN or Headline News. Those are things that I love to do because my major was radio and television production. I love to do that. I tell people, just do what you think will work for you. What's in line with your personality. But that's putting yourself out there. That's people so they'll know you. Now we go to like and trust. First question I have for people is, do you like yourself? Now I'm starting to get a little spiritual, reason why I wrote the book, right? I realized I didn't love myself unconditionally, like most people, right? I had conditions on my happiness. If I did this, if I only made this amount of money, if I only did this, I let go of those conditions and I like myself. How are you going to get anybody to like you unless you really like yourself, right? And then trust. Trust is built over time. We all know those people who show up to those networking events and within 4 seconds, not only do they hand you their business card, you don't even know how it got in your hand. It happens so quickly. I'm looking going, okay, where's the closest garbage can? Or thank God I have a piece of gum in my mouth. I needed a place to put it. The trust is built over time, right? People I do business with or people who send me business, we've built relationships, we've become friends. And that's what I encourage people to do.
You know, so many people want instant gratification. Um, how do you control that? Because it is about building relationships and it's the long term, the long game. It's something that I learned over time, not like I'm going to get that right now.
Right.
So what's your advice to attorneys about playing that long game and being patient with the process?
I tell those attorneys to play both, right? So if I am going to a Broward County Bar event and I'm going and I'm meeting some people and I happen to hit it off with someone who I think, wait, you guys do divorce work? I don't do any divorce work. I get a lot of calls for those. You know what? I really like you. The next case that I get, I'm going to you. The next, wrongful death case, you know what? I'm gonna send it to you. Now, I'm going to obviously hope that they send something to me in return. That's the quick, immediate gratification. But ultimately, the goal is to develop a relationship over time. You meet someone out, you say, how soon can we set up a time either on Zoom or socially distanced in person during this time period to get to know someone, take a deeper dive. It's hard to do at a group event, some times where you got other people in the dynamic, but sitting down and getting to know someone is a wonderful way to develop the trust and bond that you need for the long term. I've got people who've been sending me business for 28 years since I met them, right out of law school. And you just maintain those relationships.
Well, talking about relationships, that goes right into the personality of a rainmaker. And so talk about that personality. Are rainmakers born or are they taught?
I love this discussion because I'm talking to those who say, I'm not a rainmaker. I'm just not that kind of person. And I say to you, I disagree with you. I think that's a limiting belief. I think everybody has the ability, regardless of your personality, where you've come from, or who you are today, to be a rainmaker. So, for example, if your passion is not necessarily in public speaking like mine is, but it's in writing wonderful articles, then guess what? The Broward County Bar Association Barrister will publish your articles. Write a phenomenal article. Florida Bar News publishes articles. Write great articles. We will read them and we will then say, that guy knows what he's talking about. Or if you're good at public speaking, find ways that you could serve in leadership roles in certain organizations and be of service. I disagree with those who say they're not rainmakers. They don't have to be like me. In fact, I always say, don't be exactly like somebody else. If you were, then we wouldn't need one of you.
Too true, too true. So that leads to that these different personalities, how can they develop that strategic marketing plan that you talked about? What is the process? And give us some pointers.
So the first thing I tell people is, what do you love? What do you love? Not what should I do? I should be a part of that organization. I should do this. I should do this. We wind up shitting all over ourselves. That doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
The thing that you do when you write a marketing plan is, what do I love to do? Now, I had a partner back in the day who loved fishing and golfing. Do you know that he fished and golfed quite often? In fact, you'd ask, where is he? Oh, he's on the golf course. But what he was doing was he was cultivating business and obviously doing something he loved to do. And he was probably the biggest rainmaker in our firm at the time. So start off with doing something that you love to do. I made the mistake early on in joining a number of organizations where I would go, I was like, oh, another meeting to hear all these people talk. I can't stand it. They love hearing themselves talk. And what I did was I cut out the fat. Now the organizations that I belong to are ones that's like a lean filet mignon. There's no fat in my day. If I don't enjoy it, I'm out. So I encourage you to do the same. Start with what you love to do. And in that organization, you will find people who can send you business.
I love it. It's kind of similar to what I told my daughter. I mean, it's off topic, but not. It's like, find the lane you love and be the best at it. Because she's trying to figure out in college, like what career and so forth. And I'm like, figure what you love, figure out that lane, and then work hard in that lane.
We were just having that discussion last night at dinner, right after Gratefuls. My daughter was saying, I'm really into forensics, blood splatter. And then we had a discussion like what blood splatterers make, And then the question is, do you, not those who splatter the blood, that would be a murderer, but I'm talking about those who analyze the blood. And we realize like, okay, there's a balance. What do you want to earn versus, what are you passionate about? And you try to find something that marries the two.
Absolutely. Hey, talk about a little bit of the importance of social media, the digital online presence, that sort of thing.
Okay, again, I don't tell people what to do. I'm not telling you to be involved in social media. I'm just saying it's here to stay. And people have changed their perception over time. I was one from back in the day who said, really, social media, self promotion. It took me a long time to get over that. The shift for me occurred when I realized my purpose is not to say, hey, look at me, even though that is a certain benefit of putting yourself out there on social media, but it's look at what I'm talking about. Look at what I'm preaching. Last week, I did just a 1.5-minute video on service and how doing community service is the rent that we pay for the space that we take up on earth, and we should all pay more rent. So yes, look at me, and here's my link if you want to reach me. But really, the message was about service. It was a message of love. It was something that can help the world. So why should I be shy about that? So I say every post that you have should be geared to be of service to people. I would love to hear about your thoughts about an article within your area of expertise. And I'll read it and I'll say, well, thank you for contributing that to me. And now I should also keep you in mind to send you business because you seem like the expert in wills, trusts, and estate. Thank you so much. So it's just a shift in focus. Be of service while you're putting yourself out on social media, and the rest will follow.
Well, that leads to my last question to you, my friend, which is talking about your philosophy that we had discussed actually pre-interview of service being authentic and positive. Talk about that because I believe in that too.
Okay, so we all want to hang around people who are happy, right? Let's start there. If you're not happy, guess what? People don't want to hang around with you, right? We feel your energy. If you're miserable, that's fine. That's your right. But at some point, you got to go get happy, right? I like happy. I'm drawn to happy people, right? So first, I've got to be happy, right? So I've learned I was born happy. I believe that. Look at any toddler. As long as their basic needs are met, they're happy. What we do is we then download thoughts through our lifetime that don't serve us well. I'm not smart enough. I'm not like him. I'm not like her. Oh, I'm just not successful enough. I'm not. And we come from a position of lack rather than abundance. What I don't. So we keep downloading these thoughts, these fear-based thoughts. Lawyers do it better than anybody. Fear is false evidence appearing real, right? We're constantly thinking of the worst case scenario, and rarely does it ever happen. So the key for me is not finding happiness outside myself. It's eliminating those thoughts that do not serve me well. If I simply get rid of those limiting beliefs, those thoughts that just have been around that hold me back, then I'm restored to that happy little baby that I came out of my mother, right? I just had fear of loud noises because I was in solitary confinement for like 9 months, but that was the only fear I had. Everything else was learned, right? So I
Yes.
tell all of you, focus on yourself. Studies show that when you're happier, you will produce more, better sales, greater creativity, fewer fatigue symptoms. All those things happen. It's not just for the flaky anymore. And when you're happier, you energize those around you and you attract the very business that you want and all the things in the world that you want and need.
So my friend, people should take your advice on all these different points that would really benefit them. But if there's one thing that you're going to leave anyone listening to this to make them a better rainmaker, a better connector with
Yes.
people, what
Yes.
is that one piece of advice that you would give them?
I say it starts with happiness. I really do. People say, well, no, I'll be happy if I just make a certain amount of money. I'll be happy if the phone rings more. I say, no, choose to be happy. The title of my book, Be Happy by Choice, is because happiness is a decision, right? Aristotle said, take charge of your thoughts. You can do what you will with them. So it's time to take charge of your thoughts. Change your thoughts to get a different outcome. Nothing changes unless you change. So change your psychology, and I assure you that will change your business and your personal life dramatically. Be happy by choice. It's a decision. It doesn't hinge upon how much money you make. It doesn't hinge upon what the judge rules, and it doesn't hinge upon how nice opposing counsel is to you, and or whether somebody cuts you off on the way back to the office. It starts within. As flaky as that sounds, it changed my life.
My friend, thank you for spending time with me today. Why don't you leave us with how people can contact you if they're interested in you as a lawyer or learning about being happy?
Well, if anybody has any questions, allow me to be of service to you. You can go to speaktomark.com. It's actually right here. And you can reach out to me. I handle all of my own emails and calls. Goes to my legal assistant, but after hours it goes to me. Or you can go to behappybychoice.com. Behappybychoice.com. That's my whole speaking and book stuff. So I would love it if you reached out to me. I'm happy to help you in any way possible. Allow me the opportunity to be of service.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be with me and to have this conversation.
And I am extremely grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, Braulio. And thank you for all you do for the Broward County Bar Association. You're a shining example of changing your thoughts and doing a lot of work. And from that, you get people like me who just admire you and want to do more for you. So thank you.
I'm humbled, my friend. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, Mark.
I will choose to do so. Thank you.